Because here are some facts. Before Scottie Pippen got there, a total and complete loser.
Michael Jordan, before he got Scottie Pippen, never won a playoff series.
By Larry Nance, and Craig Elo sits down in favor of Ron Harper. Jordan on the free throw line.
And Rick Barry, we've seen a lot of different kinds of playoff series over the years, but I can't recall one that's been dominated so much by one player as Michael Jordan has dominated this series. 105 points in the first two games.
Jordan has totally dominated the team's play. He has scored 55, 50, 38, and 44 points in this series. And look at what the rest of the top 8 have done. It's been a Michael Jordan show.
The Bulls advance for the first time in 7 years.
When it comes to the biggest problems in the NBA nowadays, there's a long litany of grievances everyone can look at and agree there's some pretty big problems. But from a pure media perspective, fan perspective, by far the biggest one is revisionist history. As looking at the media, very few of these pundits talking heads know NBA history and will tell the story accurately. Case in point with someone like Kobe.
Y'all wasn't treating him like a 3-ring player. You were treating him like a sidekick. He was considered a sidekick. He was considered a Robin. He was considered the next Pippen.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit.
Replace me with Kobe with Shaq. I don't win a championship. You don't think I could carry the Lakers to a championship?
So, stopping the idiocy right there, the idea Kobe at any point was viewed as the next Pippen, not the next Jordan, is inherently false. And for someone like Gilbert on ESPN, you know he can dispute takes, rewrite history, and nobody will push back, correct him, or stop him dead in his tracks. And looking at that Pippen-Kobe comparison, honestly, there is none. As even looking at Kobe alongside Shaq, the far superior player, more skilled, more talented, and for the Lakers, was their closer. Pippen with the Bulls, a great utility player, two-way player, but scoring-wise, really wasn't that dude. Kobe alongside Shaq was a walking 30 ball in 01 and 02. And numerous playoff series, numerous playoff games, not only was better than Shaquille O'Neal, but closed the deal down the stretch.
Kobe for 3. Yes! At 6. Here's Kobe. He's been heading to 3. Does it again!
Bob D. Fish, it made me look good. And it's good to play with the best player in the world on your team because it makes stuff a lot easier.
For that Shaq-Kobe dynamic, one thing Shaq was never asked to do was close games in the fourth quarter. For the Pippen-Jordan dynamic, it was almost the exact inverse. Jordan every single time was the closer who'd take over in the fourth quarter. Could Scottie hit big-time shots? Of course he could. When you have a big fourth quarter here and there, absolutely. But the Bulls' main closer every single time was Michael Jordan.
It is 2-2 right now in this game number 5. As points off the bench. Jordan fires for 3. Yes. Anderson cheating over. Shot clock at 7. Jordan shooting. Yes. Missed their last 6 shots. Jordan. Yes. Pippen backing Hornacek. Here's Jordan for 3. Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
And look at those Bulls teams, 1997, the fourth quarter scoring in the fourth quarter. MJ, 182 points, 49% shooting. Scottie Pippen, second place at 90 points. Kukoc, 50, and Steve Kerr, 37. Michael Jordan's fourth quarter bird for scoring was more combined than Pippen, Kukoc, and Kerr combined. And looking at 98, the exact same thing. MJ, around 180. Kukoc, Pippen, and Kerr combined didn't even equal that.
Want to be a little more specific? There's good and there's not good. This is not good.
Now look at the 0-1 Lakers, the team's leader in fourth quarter scoring. Kobe, 128 points. Shaq, 100, Horry, 46, and D-Fish, 44. So that gap Kobe to Shaq is pretty sizable. And in 02, it was even bigger. Kobe's fourth quarter point total, 154. Shaq, 40 points less on sub 40% shooting. So for both the 01-02 championships, Kobe was a clear-cut closer fourth quarter guy who would take over when a game was in doubt.
Trying to prevent the sweep. Lakers hoping to wrap it. Bryant from down here.
But the Lakers are him. The Nets can't trade baskets.
Face Kobe Bryant if you're Keith Van Horn. You tower over him, you're stronger.
Play back to the basket there. Bryant.
The way the Lakers offense somehow, some way.
Bryant taking it to the rim. Go. Here. Well, it's been a remarkable turnaround by.
He was considered the next Pippen.
For the entire Pippen-Kobe conversation, the dynamic of the conversation, it's totally backwards. As for someone like Kobe, the Lakers' fourth quarter closer, best perimeter defender, he's downplayed, expendable. T-Mac could do what he did fairly easily. But for someone like Scottie, the credit he's given is above and beyond, even above Kobe, who was the better overall player. And here's my big time problem with Scottie and his overall legacy. Yes, a great player, played a great role on those Bulls teams, but for the media time and time again, they lie about Pippen and how good he actually was.
Now, we saw Michael Jordan in Game 1 of the 91 Finals try to guard Magic Johnson, and Magic put a triple-dub on his head. And it wasn't until Phil Jackson put Scottie, and Scottie hounded Magic all the way up and down the court, that it flipped the series.
Your thoughts on your role defensively on Magic, that big switch before Game 2?
Well, it's helped us out a lot. And I think Michael realized that by stepping up and putting a lot more pressure on Magic. And I think that's why Phil stuck with Michael, because he was able to put a lot more pressure than what he did in Game 1.
What did you just say?
And I think that's why Phil stuck with Michael, because he was able to put a lot more pressure than what he did in Game 1.
So that right there, the old Pippen guard Magic myth, I've heard for years now. And this narrative, based off really nothing, it's an old wise tale that if you watch the games, simply is not true. Games 2 through 5, possessions guarding Magic, Michael Jordan, 194. Pippen, only 85.
You can't handle the truth.
So look, when it comes to Pippen 91, did he play a big time part in that series? Of course he did. Pippen already was a great player, so give him tons of credit. But when you lie for a player, try to inflate him, overrate him, that's why I have a problem. And once again, looking at the NBA media, what do they run off constantly? Narratives and not facts. For someone like Pippen, they'll overrate him, inflate him, to downplay Jordan. For someone like Kobe alongside Shaq, the number 2 option, what do they do for him they don't do for Pippen? They downplay him, discredit him, make him seem expendable. When in reality, if anyone's expendable, it was Scottie and not Kobe.
Because here are some facts. Before Scottie Pippen got there, a total and complete loser.
Michael Jordan, before he got Scottie Pippen, never won a playoff series. You keep talking about how great he was, but how great was he without Scottie Pippen? Just a guy that put up a lot of stats.
So once again, Scottie Pippen getting credit for things he never actually did. As saying he somehow saved Jordan, took Jordan over the top, it's simply not true. And think about what Nick Wright, Shannon Sharp did. They gave Pippen 88 all the credit for the Bulls finally winning. And you might ask the question, if Pippen was so impactful, so important, he must have been an all-star, all-NBA player, at the very least a starter for the Bulls. Well, he was none of those. Pippen in 88 primarily was a bench player and the 6th man for the Bulls alongside Horace Grant. And looking at Scottie in that year's postseason compared to MJ, 10.0 points per game, 5.2 boards, 2.4 dimes on solid shooting. That right there from Scottie is impressive for a rookie, but saying that player saved Jordan, bailed him out, it's not true. And once again, the media overinflating Scottie Pippen to downplay Jordan.
And Rick Barry, we've seen a lot of different kinds of playoff series over the years, but I can't recall one that's been dominated so much by one player as Michael Jordan has dominated this series. 105 points in the first 2 games.
Well, he has certainly been outstanding. I think he's the most exciting player that I've ever seen play the game of basketball.
Michael Jordan at that point was the MVP, scoring champ, the DPOY, the clear Batman for the Bulls. If Scottie was anything for the Bulls, it wasn't Nightwing, Robin, Commissioner Gordon, it was Alfred. And for one last quick comparison, look at Kobe age 22 versus Pippen, also age 22. And again, keep in mind the narrative. Pippen on your left saved Jordan because it made Jordan Michael Jordan. Kobe on your right, expendable, a Robin, anybody could do that job. This right here is once again proof narratives can do wonders for a certain player's career. As looking at Pippen's stats, production, he gets more credit for doing that than Kobe, averaging 29 points per game and winning a championship alongside Shaq. What this comes down to is media narratives, ulterior motives, and not facts based on production and what happened on the floor. Because once again, to summarize, for someone like Pippen, gets overinflated, overrated for things he never did. Someone like Kobe gets dismissed, diminished, and just ignored based off what he did alongside Shaq. Because Kobe is an individual player, far greater than Pippen, and some say better than LeBron James. So in this case, Kobe has to be downplayed to diminish his championships, where someone like Pippen has to be inflated to chip away at Jordan, his legacy, and overall impact for the Bulls' 6 titles. So that right there is the end of the video. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.